One of the main focuses for Rise Against Hunger is to provide nutritious meals for children between the ages of 1 and 6. So we focus a lot on early childhood development centers, providing nutrition, and of course linking that to education. You know, the foundation phase of a child's life is really critical. And so essentially coming back to Mandela Day is how we typically yeah, pack our meals and engage with corporates is we get everybody onto packing lines, and we pack up our nutritious meals with corporate volunteers. So Mandela Day is just perfect. You know, that 67 minutes just fits in beautifully to get people to come along and spend their 67 minutes packing nutritious meals for children.
That I really love that, and you are right. The foundational ages 1 to 3 are so important for children. So really, just thank you so much for what your organization is doing. Now, food insecurity remains a reality for millions across South Africa. From where you sit, what does the current picture look like, and who is being affected the most?
I think what's probably the most concerning thing for me is that it's consistently on the increase. You know, there's so many organizations involved, there's so many corporates getting involved, especially, you know, around Mandela Day this time of the year. And yet we continually see an increase in food security, which is a huge problem. So it's just something that we really need to get together and start tackling in a more strategic way, because they it's not just rural areas, it's urban areas as well. So it's a huge problem, and it's something that it really needs to be addressed by all parties.
Definitely. And now, every Mandela Day, we see thousands of people giving up their time to pack meals. Beyond the impressive numbers, what kind of real impact do these meal packing events have on individuals, families, and communities over the longer term?
You know, it's important for us because when we take on the early childhood development centers to support, it's very important we take them on for not just a month or 2 months. So, what the great thing about around Mandela Day and packing, hopefully we'll pack over 3 million meals this month.
Wow.
You know, they do have a shelf life, so we're able to just build up stocks, which will enable us to support the creches we take on over a much longer period. And you know, sort of once-off support, monthly support doesn't really make a huge impact. So for us, it's the long-term game. So to build up stocks over this time of the year just really assists us going forward.
Brian, 3 million meals in a month, if I heard you correctly, that's like is short of nothing short of incredible. Pardon me. I'm so curious for you. Why was it important for you to be involved in doing this kind of work? What is your heart and your passion behind it?
I think I come from a hospitality background, so I've always been involved with food, and I think just you know being able to work within communities and provide meals. And I think for me, the kids are so important because it's that foundation phase, it's that growing, you know, stages. And if you're not getting the right nutrition, the right education, environment to grow up in, you know, you just end up on a perpetual cycle of, you know, sort of poverty if you're not getting the right education. So that age group for me is just really critical. And yeah, passionate about hopefully changing our future by changing the children today.
Definitely. And fighting hunger isn't just about handing out food. What have you learned over the years about the deeper causes of hunger and what needs to happen if South Africa wants to address the problem sustainably?
Yeah, I think I mean, it's a very complex issue when it comes to the ending hunger. So, I mean, obviously, um, you know, ourselves and there's a lot of organizations that are focusing on sort of more empowering people to grow their own food. And it's all around about providing the training and the knowledge and the provisions for people to grow their own food. I think one of the other big challenges we have in this country is food waste, and that really needs to, and there are a lot of organizations that are focusing on that as well, but it really needs to be um, legislated when it comes to just the amount of food that gets wasted. And I think, yeah, I think it's just about everybody helping, everyone help one, and just everybody sort of really focusing on it to address it, because South Africa shouldn't be a country where we have such a hunger crisis.
Yeah, I mean, Brian, because you mentioned about coming from a hospitality background, and you're talking about like the amount of food waste that we have in South Africa. I'm based in Ghana, but even I see it in Ghana and across the continent. You know, the hospitality industry and all of that, restaurants is one of the industries that often people talk about, like the amount of food that is wasted because you cannot keep food overnight and so forth. And it just struck such an image. I went past a restaurant, like maybe I'd say like this was 2 months ago. I made an order. It was a Turkish restaurant. I made an order and I kind of got out my car to go pick it up. And as I got on my car, I saw, it was such a striking image of like somebody who was digging in the bin and they were just like eating directly out of the bin. I honestly didn't eat my meal that day. I like when I got back, I handed it to the person who helps with security here where I am, and it was such a striking image, and I think often we do hear about that just in the hospitality industry, pardon me. So yeah, I can imagine for you, maybe that's also one of the areas that you would like see it and understand it the most, and I think definitely that is one of the areas where we can help fight against a food crisis and food shortage within the hospitality industry. So thank you just for pointing that out. Now this campaign brings together volunteers, schools, businesses, government, and civil society. How important are these partnerships, and what role should each sector be playing in tackling hunger?
I think the partnership, I think corporates, specifically our South African corporates, are very generous. They're very passionate
Nice,
about getting
nice.
involved and making a difference. And I think their support sort of gives us the opportunity of engaging with schools and faith-based organizations who, possibly don't have as much funding as corporates do. So it's all about just the awareness, coming together, giving people the opportunity to do something, to make a difference, and continuously just make people aware that there is a huge hunger crisis in South Africa and beyond, and each one and everybody can sort of do something about it,
Yeah.
and then hopefully going forward, more and more of the organizations, the corporates, will start working together to actually address the problem in a sort of a strategic way, so we're not overlapping and underlapping certain areas.
I love that. And Brian, just as before I let you go, as we mark Mandela Day, what message would you like to leave with South Africans about the power of collective action and how people continue supporting the fight against hunger long after their 67 minutes are over?
Just experiencing some of the atmosphere yesterday at some of our events, just to see all the different corporates, the different brands, everybody coming together, not worrying about brands and competition, but coming together for a common purpose, for a common cause. And I think if that's carried on, and I think Madiba himself said, make every day Mandela Day.
Yeah,
And sure, we don't have to go all out and all big every day, but every day, just try and make a difference, be kind,
yeah.
and just keep that spirit throughout the year, because that'll make a huge difference.
And Brian, if anybody wants to find out more about your organization, if they want to support it, if you can please share some socials, so people can go and follow or just get engaged where they can.
Yes, thank you. I think that the best is probably the website, which is riseagainsthunger.org. And if on any of the other socials, it's Rise Against Hunger Africa, and we're constantly posting various events and activities up there.
I love that. Brian Nell, CEO of Rise Against Hunger Africa. Thank you for the part that you're doing, not just on Mandela Day, but like, all day, all year round. It's really admirable. And yeah, and we can all learn something from what the amazing work that you're doing. So thank you so much and have a very beautiful Mandela Day today.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate your support.
Africa World Hour with Mphosi Tole.
David Njumbe, who's a long-serving personal assistant to Tundu Lisu for over 15 years, on the night of 20 May, he survived a shocking abduction attempt just meters from his home. Talk us through what exactly happened on that night.